And welcome into the Wednesday edition. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robbie Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Christian Skelton here with you on this Wednesday morning. Ian Safar out again today. He will be back allegedly tomorrow, although he's been golfing a lot. Who knows if he decides to come back or not?
Yeah,
join the program.
Yeah, he might just stay on the tour.
He might.
Barnstorm.
He might. We'll see what goes on down there. We are presented by Green Ventures Landscaping, outdoor patios, landscaping design, lawn maintenance, and more. Check them out at greenventureslandscaping.com. Joe Rexrode, good morning. How we doing? What's going on?
Doing all right. Big dub for the Pistons last night. I got to say, I was hard on Cade Cunningham, when he
turned the ball over 57 times.
But he absolutely was clutch in the 3 elimination games after that, and then clutch last night after they blew a big lead and made all the big plays late. And man, I tell you what, Tobias Harris, man, VFL.
Oh yeah,
that dude is. He's always been a good player, but he has been so great, and I just love the old man game, man. He's just got that high post turnaround. Hit the midi on you. Every once in a while, hit a 3. He's tough. He's a great teammate. They call him Unk. It's amazing to think of like that guy's old. But
he's 33.
Yeah, I know.
He's like 3 months older than me.
Hey, man, a lot of these guys are 20. Sar Thompson is. He's like 20, dude. So that's how it goes.
Hey, Unk.
I know.
Thanks.
He did ask to to be called maybe like Big Brother.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's a little better.
Yeah. So good dub for the Pistons. So, got a chance here. Got a chance.
Christian, how we doing? Good morning. What's going on?
Good to join you guys. Excited to be here. Doing well. Yeah. VFL Tobias Harris. How about that?
Yeah.
It's not a name I thought I would hear today.
But. No, definitely not.
The dude has been unbelievable. He has been unbelievable. All right, Christian, tell the listeners something about yourself.
I am about to graduate from MTSU in about 4 days, I guess.
You and Connor both?
Yes, both of us graduate at the exact same time.
And Professor Taylor for both of you?
Yes, we both had Mr. Taylor.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yes.
I always liked that guy.
We were just breaking down with Christian before the show the great decision by Mark Pope of Kentucky to just come out with social media videos yesterday. Like, hey, Kentucky fans, hey, is there anything you'd like to know? What's going on out there?
What's been happening lately? Everybody feeling pretty good about things?
Got any questions?
You look up tone deaf in the dictionary. That's what's next to it.
Oh man, yeah. Like how does he not have anybody?
Hey guys,
helping him.
I've said this for a long time in my life. I need to be like just basically a consultant that walks around to different places, different organizations, in all walks of life, and just says, "Hey, I'm the hey, that's a bad idea guy. I don't do that. That's all my job is. Well, don't do that. That's not a good idea."
That's a good idea for a job. It reminds me of, I don't know if anybody remembers this. Someone my age might, but the Bad Idea Jeans commercial.
I haven't seen that, but that sounds good.
The Bad Idea Jeans commercial on SNL. Oh, man. Yeah. I'm thinking of some lines from that I probably shouldn't say on the air, but it's pretty freaking great.
That's good.
Look it up. I'll find it for you during one of the breaks.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are off and running on Robby and Rexrode today. Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com will be with us later in the program. A highly anticipated visit from Paul Kuharsky. So we'll see what all goes down on that front. Christian Skelton with the honor of meeting Paul Kuharsky today. So that'll be fun. See how that goes as well.
Yeah, just it's just kind of like going to the zoo, man. Just don't get any food near him. Don't get your hands near his face. Should be all right.
It's gonna stay on my P's and Q's.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. The NHL Draft Lottery took place last night, and boy, was that interesting. Well, I guess if you're a Predators fan, you didn't drop any spots. So, given the way that their history's gone in that thing, I guess that's a good thing. But they didn't drop any spots. They're still going to pick at 10, which is obviously, it's not super great in terms of what you're hoping for, but at least you didn't move down any. They're going to be able to find, hopefully, a good player at number 10. Is it going to be a franchise-changing player at number 10? We'll see what all that kind of looks like. But that's where the Predators will be picking. They stick at number 10 with the draft lottery last night. The Toronto Maple Leafs have won the draft lottery. So they have a bad season where they missed the playoffs. Yesterday it comes out, Joe, that basically Austin Matthews has put them on the clock and is, in not so many words, saying, yeah, if you guys don't really fix this team this offseason, I'm out of here. And then that same day, they win the draft lottery. And it looks like Gavin McKenna will be going to the Toronto Maple Leafs. By the way, nobody's talking about this all that much. San Jose is number 2, which just means that, they moved up to 2 in the draft lottery. So they've had Celebrini, they had Misa last year, and now they're picking 2 again. And they're probably going to end up with this Stenberg kid who's really good and is a winger, and just add him to the mix. And they desperately need defensemen, but they keep landing in all these draft slots where they'd kind of be crazy not to take the forwards that are available. And their lineup, you're going to look at their forward group here in about 3 years, you're going to be like, what do we do with that? Like, I have no idea.
It's going to be like when the Avs started to come around. It's like, look at that line. That's insane. Yeah, that's fair. No, you're right. There's so much attention on the Leafs, and I know it's hilarious, and everything's rigged. I get it. The whole Stilly is out there last night, and I'm like, yeah, they're rigging it for the Sharks to get Macklin Celebrini, but whatever. I get it, and I feel bad for the Vancouver fans who had to watch Toronto of all teams take the top spot. But yeah, I think that the Sharks getting 2 is, man, they are going to be scary.
They're going to be scary, and they're going to be scary anyway. And then now you add another one to the mix of, I don't think that this kid Stenberg is like, Macklin Celebrini or anything. He's a winger, first off, but pretty good. Like when the Predators lost out on number 1 last night, I was like, yeah, number 2 wouldn't be bad. You can still get number 2, and then they didn't get that either. So I did look at the Athletic last night, and I was like, I'm sure, knowing the NHL guys they have, that they've probably got a mock draft up like immediately. And of course they do. So I was like, okay, so who they got the Predators taking at number 10? Tynan Lawrence, a center from Boston University. And this was the write-up that Scott Wheeler put together. Quote, the Predators have gravitated to competitive, hardworking two-way players, and Lawrence fits what they're attracted to the letter, while giving them a legit future top 6 center to build around. And he was talking about somebody else in the conversation on defense as well, but another center is the way that Scott Wheeler has them going at number 10.
Okay, yeah.
Describing him as a competitive, hardworking two-way player, which I know Predators fans right now are like, oh, gee, great. That's awesome.
I want someone who's weak, hates confrontation, but skates like the wind, okay?
I'd like somebody who doesn't even know what the word defense means.
Yeah.
Just get out there and play.
Just someone who
Score
scores,
goals.
Please. But yeah, I mean, it sounds
It's okay
like
to be a two-way player.
It is. It's kind of important. It does help you a lot. So that doesn't sound too bad. So we're talking, Stenberg to the Sharks, and then Malhotra. Is that the guy? Is that
Malhotra?
Yeah. Malhotra? Yeah. To the Canucks. So yeah, it still could be good for the Canucks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how good is Gavin McKenna going to be?
I think he's going to be pretty good.
He's going to be pretty good. Now, the funny thing is they actually have the comparison has been Celebrini, or at least it was, as he was growing up. I mean, you're talking about a 115-point player here in year 2. I mean,
I don't think he's going to be that.
Yeah.
But
he's going to be
good.
You're going to be glad you got that.
Well, it's interesting. Like, I do wonder, in all seriousness, like on the Austin Matthews front, it was looking like, he's looking to find a way out of there, which, quite frankly, I don't blame him. Like, we talked about the fishbowl that is Toronto yesterday with all the press conference stuff that was going on, and they missed the playoffs, and Marner's gone, and I think there's a lot of questions about that roster. I don't know that Gavin McKenna solves it. I don't know that Matthews looks at it and says, oh, well, they got Gavin McKenna coming in now. I'm cool. Like, I'll just be here. I'm very interested to see what that looks like. I think he's got maybe 2 years left on his contract. I'm trying to remember what Austin Matthews got left on his contract, but like there were radio shows in Toronto yesterday. I was seeing clips everywhere. It's like, guys, Austin Matthews is gone. It's time you accept it. He's gone. Like, and it's just like, all right, we'll see.
And what about today?
And
what are you saying today?
What are you saying today? Now that it looks like Gavin McKenna. But I will say this, knowing full well, Joe, that the draft lottery played out on a stream last night for everyone to see on television. Like, you could watch it the whole time. This did not help the draft lottery is rigged conspiracy theorist when Toronto ends up winning it.
Well, it helped them.
I guess, it did not help the NHL, I guess is what I'm saying.
I know, but it's like there's so few. It's like you have to make sure it's like the because you could make a case for so many teams, right? And if it's rigged, then I'd like to know how the team that absolutely drove audience for a long time in this league, as much as anyone who has as big a fan base as anyone, has gotten screwed. How about my Red Wings? Can we get if it's rigged? How come we can't get it rigged for anything? Huh? Tell me what. And why did the Sharks get Celebrini? How is that rigged? So the Sharks, Buffalo wins it? How long ago did they win it?
Everybody know the Sharks are the ones who moved the needle.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yes, I get it. The Leafs went. Now yesterday, Nate was like, "It'll be Chicago," but you can.
It wasn't Chicago.
The Leafs are great for the conspiracy theorists. The Leafs are great.
Hey, Chicago moves down to 4. They dropped 2 spots. It was the worst possible outcome for the Hawks.
That's tough, man.
You hate to see it.
That's interesting. So is it conspiracy against them now? Does the league hate them now?
Oh, they pulled the first ping pong ball, and it was like, well. I think the Rangers odds shot up a lot when they pulled the first ping pong ball. I was like, I swear, the Rangers win the lottery. And then it was Toronto, so it was potentially even worse. It's like, oh, the Leafs. That's great.
Yep. Sorry, Vancouver, you're invited out of the league, I guess. Does this mean John Chick is smart now? Do people like him?
Well, maybe so.
With this,
hey, good job, John. Nice job on the draft lottery. Good way to go.
He's looking pretty good with his. Do you see the thing on the 6-screen thing from Steve
No,
Simmons? It's 6 screens going in his office, and 5 of them are just fake crap to make it look like he's smart.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's an interesting hire they've made. 615-737-1025, our phone number. 615-737-1025. We are off and running. The Predators stick at number 10 in the NHL Draft Lottery. Toronto wins it. We'll take your reaction to all that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. The Nashville Sounds taking on Louisville later this morning. First pitch at 10:05. You can catch all the action on 94.9 The Fan, presented by Family Leisure and Social Cantina. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Our phone number, 615-737-1025. Preds are sticking at number 10 after the NHL Draft Lottery last night. Toronto moving up to number 1. San Jose picking at number 2. A lot of reaction to that on the YouTube chat to this point. Some debating on the tanking idea as to, like, is the lottery even worth it? Like, if you're trying to get yourself in a position to land these generational players, like, does the lottery just totally prohibit you from doing that? Like, if you're one of these teams that, I mean, Detroit's a good example. Detroit's been bad enough for long enough where, I mean, they probably should have landed somebody at this point where you're like, yeah, that guy is a franchise-changing player, and they just have never had any luck at all in the lottery. And, of course, this year they traded their first-round pick away and didn't make playoffs.
Right,
so.
right. But, yeah, I mean, like, if the league is trying to, like, oh, we got to prop up this, I promise you they would have gone there. I promise you.
Yeah, if they're looking to rig
the
something, the Red Wings would have gotten something along the way, I would think.
So don't tell me about the crap being rigged. I mean, again,
also, it's live on television. So.
San Jose got Celebrini 2 years ago. San Jose, guys. This is I get it. In the immediate reaction, Toronto, especially if you're a Vancouver fan, I get, like, you are trying to track down Gary Bettman as we speak. But yeah, look at all the information. I wouldn't think that Buffalo, they won it not that long ago, would be an especially important market for the. I mean, it's one of their markets, right? Like, they love all the markets. I'm sure Gary loves all the markets.
Are really good in Buffalo. People love watching hockey in Buffalo.
Sure, but I mean, we're not, that's not New York. It's not Chicago. No. It's not Toronto. So, and it's not Detroit. Again, Detroit, market aside, Detroit as a fan base, as an original six franchise in this league. I mean, they'd rather have Detroit in the playoffs. I promise you this.
Oh yeah, I mean, objectively, it's not rigged. I mean, again, the process plays out live on television. You can watch it. So, first off, I'm glad they've started doing that because they used to not do that. Yeah. And I think, I've never thought it was rigged, but it doesn't help it when nobody could see it other than like 5 reporters that you pull in a room somewhere. So I'm glad that they've started to just show it on television, and that's been something that they've added over the last couple of years. It's not rigged. I do think it's worth the conversation of, like,
the system.
If you're tanking and you end up bad and you end up like the Predators last year, they were 3rd and they weren't tanking. They're just bad. But then you end up picking 5th in the draft. You're like, well, okay, crap. I mean, could have picked 3rd or 2nd or whatever it is. Like, I kind of like the lottery system because I think it avoids, for the most part, teams like, I remember the year that everybody knew McDavid was coming out, and it was like Buffalo knew pretty quickly they were going to be awful. Edmonton was awful. And there was about 2 or 3 other teams that were just awful. And the moment that they knew that they were just out of it, they were like, hit the tank. Let's get the tank as quickly as possible. And that year it was McDavid and Eichel. So it was a pretty good 1-2 that you had there. And Edmonton ends up winning the lottery, obviously. And then I think Buffalo was 2. And
Edmonton? Edmonton, Alberta. They got to be good.
Yeah.
Woo!
Thank
goodness Connor McDavid went to Edmonton.
That's how you get the eyeballs up there, is in Edmonton. But there's a lot of luck involved. I mean, there's no doubt. That's what it is. Winning the draft lottery it's basically purely luck. And obviously, if you're the worst team, you've got the best percentage chance. But, that's the last couple of years you're looking around and, you're Vancouver yesterday. You're feeling pretty good about the chances to get Gavin McKenna. And now you've dropped to the worst possible outcome for you, which is 3. So congrats, Vancouver.
Yep. Production says Vancouver has never picked first in 56 years. That's tough.
Yeah, I believe I heard that yesterday. That adds up.
So if it is rigged, they just hate Vancouver.
I guess so.
I mean, I don't know why, but they just hate Vancouver. Yeah, it's gonna be something in San Jose, and it's really gonna be interesting with what this means for Toronto. Because I mean, I honestly think that, like, I mean, if I was Austin Matthews, I would look at this and be like, well, although there's still a bunch of stuff that I'm sure is, like, consistent there that he wants to get the hell away from, right?
Yes.
But at least, like, okay, I mean, this could be fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
a
definitely
guy like that to play with on my line.
I would say this: if Austin Matthews was in the mindset of like I got to get out of here, like I think today you do look around and say, okay, well let's think about this for a minute. And like, what does McKenna mean? How good do you think he's going to be? But a lot of it's still going to come down to what can they do in the short term to fix a roster that's pretty bad. Like they've got some horrible contracts. You know, Marner's gone, and it feels like they've just totally missed their window.
Well, and if you feel the same way that apparently almost everyone feels about Chayka,
Yeah,
then
maybe irreconcilable anyway.
I'm not sure McKenna balances that out.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Boy, could be interesting to see.
Preds, Austin Matthews.
Well, I mean, look, in all seriousness, if he comes available, and you know, we're still, I think, a little bit of ways away from that. But if he does, I mean, don't you kind of have to involve yourself if a guy like Austin Matthews comes available?
Yeah.
Like, I understand people will look at it and they'll say, well, the Predators aren't on like the doorstep of winning a Stanley Cup, and they're not, and they probably still wouldn't be if they added Austin
He's
Matthews.
another guy who's not
he's a
super
guy
old.
like Austin Matthews. I mean, how old is he? Is he
31?
I don't even think he's 30 yet. Yeah, he's 28.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, just like the Kachuk conversations, like you have someone who you have a runway with.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you don't think you can get good within the time frame of that guy still being a relevant player, well, then you're screwed anyway. So
yeah, I mean,
do it.
I would say if he becomes available, you're going to see several teams around the league make a push for it, and then we'll see what happens. How much of it's going to come down to where he wants to go? How much of it's going to come down to the Maple Leafs and the best deal they could get? Obviously, if he goes public with this thing that he wants out, that does not really help the Maple Leafs in terms of trade value and all that stuff. So, again, we're a long way away from some of that, but maybe not that long. I mean, yesterday, that's all the talk in Toronto was. Hey, this offseason, he's out. I mean, so we'll see. I'd keep an eye on it if I'm the next general manager with the Predators. Eventually, I hope, hire that person.
Yeah, at some point.
It does feel
Alex
like
Doherty has me thinking June now. I'm like,
Yeah.
June?
There does seem to be the prevailing thought out there right now on the Preds GM search is that it's going to be Fitzgerald. So we'll see. I mean, it hasn't been named yet, so we'll see what happens on that front. But I would say I would call the reaction to that interesting if that's the way that it goes.
Yeah. That's I think it could be just fine, but the reaction, that's the worst case scenario in terms of like your fan base reacting. That's not why it's not why you do things.
It's not the worst case, but it's the worst case of outside options. I would say.
Sure. Well, we've already,
Yeah.
I guess,
I think they've already eliminated
that possibility. Yeah. How about like co-GMs Fitzgerald and Brian Boyle?
Well,
what would people think?
I remember
good idea.
I remember when they trotted out like 6 players, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna have about 17 assistant captains. We have a leadership group. It's like, good Lord, is anybody on the team not an assistant captain?
So if you don't have an A, you're a total turd. Yeah. Is that what that means?
Yeah. Grief. How many assistant captains we got around here?
You're a malcontent if you don't have. You have an M, C, A, and M, malcontent.
615-737-1025, our phone number, 615-737-1025. Some noise from Vanderbilt fans on Tim Corbin in terms of what exactly the future of Vanderbilt baseball is going to look like. We'll get into that coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Yeah, I just pulled it up from the summer of 2017. Yossi was named captain. Ryan Ellis was named associate captain. Then it was Ekholm, Forsberg, and Johansson assistant captains. It's like, that's 5 captains. Okay, that's a lot of captains I got out there.
There was no senior associate captain?
I don't think so.
There's no regional assistant to the regional manager captain?
I think that was under consideration.
Yeah.
They were going to give that to Kyle Turris at some point, but it didn't quite work out on the ice.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's Kyle Turris.
Hey, Kyle! We don't want to overload you here, man. So we're just not going to give you one of these A's that we're handing out like candy.
Kyle Turris, nice guy. I always thought he sounded like Bill and or Ted from Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
Yo, bro, what's going on?
He
kind of played like that too. Huh? There you go. Okay,
good.
yep. Kyle Turris taking shots.
Oh, look, if you're getting paid $2 million a year by the Predators still, you can take a few shots.
Yes, that's right. Yes, you
just
can.
take it to the bank. Laugh your way to the bank, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be fine. Joe, some noise on Tim Corbin from the Vanderbilt fan base a little bit, trying to figure out, hey, exactly what's going on here. Where's this thing all headed now in this new era of college baseball and college athletics with the future of this baseball program? Is Vanderbilt ever going to get back to the point where they are competing for national championships again in college baseball and maybe getting as loud or louder than it's ever been in terms of the Vanderbilt fan angst on the Tim Corbin front right now with the way that this season has gone to this point? So, Joe, what do you make of all this? What do you make of the season that Vanderbilt has had in baseball to this point, and what this could all mean for Tim Corbin in the future here?
Well, I mean, I'll come right out with it. If you're a Vanderbilt fan who wants Tim Corbin fired, you're a moron. I don't know what. I'm sorry. And you may not be a complete moron in every aspect of your life. Like, you may be really smart at your job or like really good at crossword puzzles. But when it comes to Vanderbilt baseball, you're a moron. I'm sorry. I have there's nothing else I can really say. Does that mean that you should be happy with how things are going? No. Concerned? I think that's fair. Obviously in this era, and I think especially the long-term program building coaches. Look, I think Tim Corbin has a case and has had a case for a while as good a coach as there is in college athletics in terms of building a program and what he does. He really does do more than just go out there and win games and collect talent and stuff like that. It's a special program. And obviously this stuff, the current environment makes it's just different. It makes it hard. You can do all the things about bringing a player along and things like that, and someone else still may be able to lure them away, and or you need to, when other teams are loading up the way they are, you kind of have to look around and say, well, maybe it's just not quite enough to do what we've been doing. We have to go out there and do the same thing. And first of all, he has gotten into the portal. He has brought guys in, but this year is disappointing. The NCAA tournament streak is probably going to end. They did come back to beat Louisville last night.
They did.
The Battle of the
Barrel.
After getting up the grand slam in the first inning. But they're going to have to do serious work in Hoover to have a shot to get in. So the streak likely to be broken. And so, it's a year for people to be concerned and upset and things like that. It's funny because the big complaint lately has been, baseball is you got to have more power.
Yep.
You got to adapt to the game. Well, that's not a problem for this team. The problem is pitching, and some of that's injuries and some of that's just performance and youth. And at the same time, people who know way more about this program and team than I do believe, next year, absolutely you could see how it's a strong Omaha contender next year. It's not like it's going, downhill. You get some guys in the recruiting classes who go MLB, and that's always been part of the, the deal here with the college baseball coach. I just think it's kind of crazy how some of the stuff I've heard from Vanderbilt fans about Corbin. I understand they haven't been to Omaha since 21. They also were the number 1 seed a year ago. Now they blew it. And so, you got to perform in the postseason. There's no question, but like they had the quality of team, in particular on the mound. They didn't have enough offense, but they were the number 1 seed. So, like you're not too far removed from having really, really good teams that can compete at the highest level. And I don't think you're far away now.
Let's head to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in Tim to the program. Tim, good morning.
Tim C.
Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, I am Tim C., but it's not Corbin.
Okay, all right. Just wanted to check.
Tim from Nashville.
No,
you're absolutely right. They're morons. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, I'm from Jackson, Tennessee. So,
Okay.
But anyhow, you're right about the fans that want to get rid of Tim. Tim has he's done enough to earn his right to go away when he wants to go and how he wants to go. Are we having a bad year? Yeah, we're having a bad year. Part of it is Tim's fault because Tim does not like the NIL deal, just like Nick Saban did. And until he embraces it, it may take not making the playoffs, not making the tournament this year to open his eyes. Tim has not forgot how to coach.
No, I'm totally
think
with
we
you.
need another pitching coach. I think Scott Brown his time here is done. You can see what Jason Espinito has done with our batting. I mean, we're second in the country in home runs.
Yeah, thank you for the call, Tim. Appreciate it.
By the way,
Tim from Jackson, by the way.
It's been, I got to fire the hitting coach, but the pitching coach is great. Now this year you have a bad year. No, got to fire the pitch. I really don't think Scott Brown. I mean, you look at the whole track record with Scott Brown.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I understand. This is tough. So people want accountability and all that. I get it. I will say to Tim's point there, if it's true, that Tim, and again, he has been in the portal. They have spent money. So let's start there. Now, have they done like what like LSU has done at times? Just like, hey, let me just take half of NC State's team and just, let's go. No, and it probably won't. But like there is if it's true, that it's like I'm just not going to do it to a certain level, then at some point you probably should step down. I can't imagine any scenario in which Tim Corbin's career at Vanderbilt doesn't end on his terms.
No,
but barring like scandal, right? I can't see that. But look, I'm going back and looking at this. The story I did on Maggie Corbin a couple of years ago. I was trying to find the quote, but I mean, to paraphrase, because I'm doing a very poor job of this while I talk. Like she said, like this whole thing could be the end. I mean, they've talked openly about that. They hate it. He hates it. I think Tim Corbin has probably been as outspoken as any coach who's still coaching. Obviously Saban gets out and rips everything and all that, but like as still coaching, I think Tim Corbin has been as outspoken about how much he hates this as anyone. And, and he's built up the equity to be able to do that. But you do have to adjust. You do. I mean, you have to adjust to a certain point. And I think that probably, this next off season, it's a big deal. And fans, and I understand it, want to see a big swing or two to really, improve things for next year with a team that does project to be very good.
Yeah, I mean, I do think some of it is also like some Vanderbilt fans that I know say we're kind of tired of hearing about next year too. Like it feels like we're talking about next year all the time, and I get it. But to your point, I mean, it was not that long ago they were the number 1 seed, and then they just choked in the postseason, right? Like that's sometimes that happens, right? And so, like I still believe that Tim Corbin can put together a roster that is worthy of competing for championships. Now, I think it's harder now. Like first off, the SEC is always really, really good. And now you've added Texas and Oklahoma to the mix, right? So especially Texas, you look at the history of their baseball program. I mean, that's just another power that you're adding to an already extremely difficult conference. So it's not like it's getting easier. Like if anything, it's getting harder. And you have people allocating more resources. Like, LSU's having a horrible year too. My guess is they're going to do whatever it takes next year to make sure that doesn't happen again, right? So you're going to have I mean, they're going to be probably really aggressive by the time the transfer portal comes up. Tennessee, your in-state rival. We know what it was under Vitello. Like it kind of changed the landscape around here, what that looked like. And then they go off and win the national championship. And we'll see where things go with Josh Elander and what that ends up looking like. But I would bet, Joe, that Tennessee's still going to be a force and a problem in college baseball for Vanderbilt for the next few years. So I think it's a couple things. Like, yeah, the landscape around how you get talent in here and what that looks like and the resources, that has changed. But also, like, some of these programs, because of that you're directly competing with, have changed as well. And I just think it makes it harder out there.
No doubt. Yeah. You just have to decide, are you in or out on really trying to compete, trying to invest to compete? And so there's just more volatility. And again, that's true. I think across college sports, right? I mean, again, we're seeing random football programs rise, and we're seeing, I don't know if you saw, Mandel's story on Signetti the other day, but again, another coach from Indiana saying that Bama just quit in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah,
38-3. It's still every once in a while you think about it, it's like, man, Indiana beat Alabama 38-3 in a bowl game. I mean, so there's volatility.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, but there's going to be there's going to be even this tremendous NCAA tournament streak, which it speaks to the consistency of the program. Stuff like that is just going to be harder to pull off, the year-to-year consistency. So, yeah, are you in on figuring out the next offseason? Because, yeah, I agree with you. I bet you LSU, it looks a lot different a year from now.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. We will take more of your thoughts on Tim Corbin and Vanderbilt, plus a story from college football that we got to get Joe's thoughts on as well coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com will be with us a little bit later in the program. Chris on the text line says, wouldn't this be huge? Corbin gets tired of NIL. Vitello has a bad year with the Giants. He leaves and replaces Corbin at Vanderbilt. That would be maximum chaos if that's what happened.
I can't tell you how incredible that would be for everyone. Like Vanderbilt fans right now hearing that are like, oh my God. But like if it actually happened, they might be like, you know?
Yeah. Oh, they talk themselves into it.
Oh yeah. But Corbin might actually like set the campus on fire. I mean, you can't do it.
Not to mention Vol Twitter. A lot of problems that you could be dealing with there.
Oh my gosh, Vol Twitter too. That might be Shiano Sunday level of angry. Wow.
And by the way, I mean, it's in the state. You can see people like marching down the streets of Nashville. Howdy! What are you doing? Get out of here. I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think so.
I love the idea though. Thank you for just putting that visual in my head.
I mean, how are the Giants doing? I mean, I haven't checked on them in a couple weeks, so couldn't tell you.
I don't know. Let's check the standings. I know that I got Ryan from Chicago talking trash because the White Sox are like moving up the standings.
Yeah. Giants are 14-22.
Okay.
Fourth in the NL West. Not where you want to be.
No. But let me just say, Ryan from Chicago, the White Sox suck. They'll continue to suck. Our entire pitching staff is on IL.
Yeah.
And we're still ahead of you in the standings. White Sox suck. Thank you.
Liam says, now that all our eggs aren't sitting in Tim Corbin's basket as far as being competitive in college athletics, it's easier to give him as much leeway as he wants to be stubborn about NIL and the portal. And hey, we got the number one class coming in next year, 12 of the top 100. Not that any of them will get to campus. It's from Liam.
Well, that's the thing, right? How many can you? Yeah, I don't know about none of them, but right, that's always big, right? I mean, in some ways, like a lot of the things that have been going on are still the same. You know, they're good things. But yeah, that's another interesting thing of the whole discussion is like it used to be, God, this is Vanderbilt. Oh, but baseball.
Yep.
And now like baseball, I mean, this year, which is the greatest school year of Vanderbilt sports ever, I submit. I feel good about that. You're talking about, I know it hurt to not get the Sweet 16 in men's hoops, but you got there in women's basketball, the 10-win football season. Like baseball is trailing. I mean, in this greatest school year will also include baseball not getting to the NCAA, which I guess some people would say you can't say it is anymore if they don't get there. I still think it is. But that like these other programs have obviously have flourished. It's a great time to be a Vanderbilt sports fan, except now the thing that you always counted on is letting you down.
Yeah, no doubt. Speaking of college football, what do you make of this story? So Chris Vanini came out with this in The Athletic yesterday. This has been a large talking point in some personal circles of mine. College Football Coaches Association calling for the college football playoff to, quote, maximize the number of teams, eliminate conference championship games, and complete the college football playoff by the second Monday in January.
Good.
Yeah, I like a couple of those things as a part of a group of informal recommendations announced on Tuesday. So they want the college football playoff wrapped up by like the second week of January, which I think we could probably all get behind that one. You want to eliminate conference championship games, which, going back 20 years would hurt my soul, but based on where it is now, I mean, yeah, probably just need to go ahead and eliminate them. But maximize inclusion in the college football playoff, which nobody really knows what that means. Like, is that 24? Do they want more than 24? Like, what does that look like?
100?
Yeah. Like, what are we talking about?
Maximize is a big word.
Yeah. Like, I don't know exactly what that means, but Joe, your reaction to the continued deterioration of the college football playoff that is never going to stop, that I tried to warn everybody about 4 years ago.
Yeah. Well, first of all, this is not something that like they don't have the power to do anything. This is just their recommendations. They have banded together. And again, some of these recommendations are good and worth talking about. I think Army Navy needs to be protected. It needs to be needs to have its own slot no matter what. So I'm glad that they said that too. But yeah, what an interesting choice of words. Maximize the number of teams. I mean, like, who decided that? You know, if you're going to say maximize, but then not put a number on it, that makes it sound to me like 24 is not even enough for you.
That's what it sounds like to me.
24 is stupid. So but again, look, man, and this is where you get into, you know, it's like the job security thing. A lot of these coaches, it sounds, and I get it. It's like, okay, if we just get in the playoff now, I mean, that just changes. The pressure on me goes way down. AD's same thing. The pressure on me to fire this guy, the pressure on me or the criticism of me because I hired the wrong guy. I mean, there's a lot of job performances that can look a lot better than a 24-team world. But we all still know if you're a program that limps in a couple times in a few years period in the 24 because you went, 7-5, like that's not high performance. I mean, yeah, it's just like the NCAA tournament expanding, I mean, like, Stephen Pearl, Auburn fans.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I know they ended up winning the NIT or whatever, but so the exact same season last year in a 76, you know what your team is. You can't stand watching your team. You actually don't even want them to be in the tournament. That's a huge problem with this whole thing. It's like the teams that are down there in the bubble, below the bubble, teams are like, please stop playing. I don't want to sit here and be pissed off and watch you for 2 hours. So if you're an Auburn fan and it's a 76-team world and you're easily in with that crappy season, you feel better about Stephen Pearl? You feel any different about Stephen Pearl or the program? Or again, I'm just using him as an example. It's just short-sighted, but that's what college sports is. It's a bunch of people looking out for their own interests, being short-sighted and not looking at the big picture.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to stop. Like, it's never going to be enough. And that's what you just laid out is a perfect example of what I think coaches are missing in this. Like all these coaches are looking for job security. And that's the root of all of it. They're looking for job security, which I understand. If I was a coach, I'd probably be looking for the same thing. But it cheapens the product. It cheapens the product. It cheapens the result of it. Like, making the college football playoff when it's a 4-team playoff is a huge deal. Making the college football playoff when it's a 12-team playoff, not as huge, but it's still a big deal.
Big.
When you make the college football playoff as a 24-team playoff, like, there are numerous places around college football where it's like, well, yeah, you better. If you don't, that's a massive problem, right? Like, I don't know, if you're a Tennessee fan and they expand this thing to 24, and then like the Vols go on like a 3-year run of making the college football playoff and getting beat in the first round, is that good enough for you? It won't be for me. Like, that doesn't make me feel better at all. Just because you've expanded the playoff and got more teams in, what do you do when you get in there? Like, that doesn't. And I don't think coaches quite understand that. It's like, it's really not going to provide you more job stability. It may for a year or two, and then people are going to look at it and they're going to say, well, you should be making the college football playoff every year. And if you're not advancing in it, what good is it? Like, what difference does it make? Right.
And if you flip it around and it's like, some years it's like, okay, this is a down year, whatever, we're 7-5, 6-6, a program like Tennessee, but you flip it around and then you just don't make it. It's like more disappointing if you don't make it. Whereas before, when it's a reasonable number, it's not even a conversation. And that might even make it, more disappointing for fans. But I've been grappling with this. I might tackle this. So your initial thought, what is dumber?
Okay.
The 76-team NCAA basketball tournament or a 24-team CFP?
24-team CFP,
yeah.
By far.
Yeah. I agree. The only argument the other way is like college football is like, it's a joke right now. Like, they're changing every year. Whereas you actually had something everybody loved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the argument. The other way is like, you're messing with something that we've agreed for 40 years is perfect, as opposed to, I mean, college football is like the aging like actress who keeps getting like, reconstructive face surgery until like, looks like a donkey. It's just
Good illustration.
thank you. I'm not speaking about anybody in particular, but
Just
I'm
in general.
saying,
Yeah.
like when you see someone who's had so much plastic surgery, it's like
You don't even look like a human being
accept
anymore.
your
Yeah.
age, like just age.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Yeah, I mean, they're both, don't get me wrong, they're both bad. I don't like either one of them, but I would go college football playoff expansion to 24, which it just seems like more and more we're getting there at some point. They're going to 24, and good Lord, who knows? According to this, they may not stop at that.
I will say, for some of the stuff he's done, including the NCAA basketball crap that he pushed, you got to get behind Greg Sankey. He's fighting, man. He's fighting against it.
Yeah, exactly. 615.
Go, Greg.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. We will get into the Titans coming up next, including a couple of scenarios that I've seen thrown out there that I do not think Titans fans will enjoy very much. We'll get into that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Final hour, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Christian Skelton here with you on this Wednesday morning. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. We are presented by Green Ventures Landscaping for homes and businesses that want to stand out, not blend in. Visit greenventureslandscaping.com. We are live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership where the buzz is always about great service. Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com will be with us in the second half of the program. We will get into all things Tennessee Titans with him. We got the Rex Rant with Joe Rexrode coming up later this hour at 7:45 as well. Joe, I've seen this. I saw this yesterday on ESPN.com, and I've seen it a couple different places, so I figured I'd throw it out there. And I think most of these are operating purely by Vegas odds, I think, from the research I've been able to do. But I don't know about ESPN.com. They came out with their power rankings, their post-draft, post-free agency power rankings in the National Football League. So, I mean, they've got Seattle at number 1. I mean, some of the teams that you would expect at the top. And coming in at number 27 on the ESPN.com power rankings list, the Tennessee Titans. And I don't really care about power rankings other than the standpoint of, like, it just made me play out this scenario in my head. By my quick math, if they are 27th in the league this year, that would be the 6th worst team in football. So you would go from a 3-14 season to another 3-14 season to the 6th worst team in all of National Football League play this year if it plays out that way. Which, by the way, that's right in line with where they were this past year. You picked 4th in the draft. You had a ton of teams all together at 3-14. You're kind of in that same neighborhood. So my question is simply this. If it plays out this way, where the Titans are bad again, and maybe they're not 3-14, maybe they're like, I don't know, 4-13 or 5-12 this year. What does that mean? Like, what sort of conversations are we having if that's the way that things go this year? And for a third consecutive season, and really a 4th when you go back to the last year of Vrabel, you're looking at just bad football yet again for a team that's about to head into a new stadium the next year.
Yeah, the answer is with a lot of things. To me, it's like, how does it happen? What does it look like?
Let's assume relative health in this discussion too, just for the sake of the discussion.
If it's bad and we're looking at Cam Ward like, boy, then, then I'm like, to me, then Mike Borgonzi is on the hot seat. As much as, and to me, I'm kind of like right down the middle with him, or pretty close to it right now. I definitely think people want to over celebrate people that they hope are good and are going a little too far in terms of like identifying evidence of why they're good. I think some of that goes on with Borgonzi, but I also think he's done some good things. He seems like a sharp guy, and he's got a chance. He's done some things here that could work out and could be really good. But if that's the case, and they're that bad at the bottom of the league again, and the quarterback does not look like he's ever going to live up to pick number 1, and understanding in this league, certainly right now we're in a time of these things can sometimes take years, but there's got to be a big improvement. If there is a big improvement in Cam Ward and they still have that record, well, okay. Obviously, that means other things are malfunctioning badly.
Yeah, it's hard for me to get there.
Yeah, right. Me too. But I guess, it's possible. Like, but then of course you can still go back to Borgonzi. Okay, so the defense has no pass rush, so none of the edge guys are working out. Like, there's some answer there where that's a real problem with how they built the team.
Yeah,
but that's still you'd way prefer that. So, by the way, ESPN has them 22nd. Our guy Josh Kendall has them 32 in his power rankings.
If that's the case,
his post-draft power rankings have them all the way at the bottom. Just Jets 31. Like, he's got Cards, he's got Raiders, Cards, Jets, and the Titans. And that was actually
like the Dolphins. Where's he got the Dolphins?
Let's see. He's got Giants 28, Browns 27, Commanders 26.
Does he think
Dolphins.
Malik Willis is going to win the league MVP?
He's got the Dolphins at a nice 25.
Okay.
But, 25 to 32 could also be.
I mean, it's not a ton of difference.
A couple games difference here. But, yeah, that probably is a little bit optimistic for hey, I'm behind Malik all the way. Just don't ever put a baseball in his hand.
No.
Just don't ever let him throw another baseball.
Just make sure it's strictly footballs that he's throwing out there.
That was
That
wild.
was an all-timer first pitch from Malik the other day down there.
Like, how's that even happen?
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting stuff. Yeah, well, if it's 32, then we got a huge problem. And if it's 32, like your publication is thrown out there, well, then we're probably talking about a different quarterback at that point. It'd be hard for me to get around that conversation if that's what it ends up being this year.
But again, if that's the case, then the GM refused to trade. And what if that happens in tandem with Jackson Dart playing?
I know.
The GM refused to trade down. That's a really bad deal for all involved. And I know Amy doesn't want to fire anyone now, so I guess then she'd make Borgonzi vice president in charge of team holiday greeting cards or something. And just you go over there for a while. And so then he'll just quit on his own. So then we don't keep talking about Amy firing people, I guess. I don't know.
I guess so. Well,
God,
this to me,
why are you talking about negative
stuff? I'm highlighting the importance of, to me, it is absolutely crucial for this franchise this year to start to get pretty significantly on the upward trajectory. I'm not saying you got to make the playoffs, but if they don't reach, 7-8 wins this year, that's a colossal disappointment in my mind. It's time to get going on that front. And again, you never know exactly. It's hard to sit here, to your point, in May, look at a record at the end of the year and say, well, it's either a success or a failure strictly by if they can reach this certain win total or not. We know that there's just way more that goes into it. Who's going to be healthy? Who's not going to be healthy? How does the schedule end up breaking for them? Does it turn out that they have just some unbelievably difficult schedule because the way all those things factor into it? But on the surface, you've been a bad football team for 3 years in a row. And really, to your point yesterday, if you want to stretch it back further than that, you lost 7 games in a row to end the season 4 years ago and lost out on the division. So it's been a lengthy stretch at this point of horrendous football around here. If you're talking again this year about being one of the 4 or 5 worst teams in the NFL, I mean, to me, that is a 5-alarm fire around here in terms of concern level.
Yeah. It's just, it speaks to what we have been talking about, which is they've not been a well-run organization. And that's the only way that you can lose like that long in the NFL. Now, Gover points out, okay, they're 4-13. They lose all 13 by 1 score, or you can tell maybe they're one piece away, or they lose by multiple scores and they can't score more than 17 a game. Yes, again, how it looks is a huge deal. Do they get a bunch of great games and they just have horrific luck, and the kicker misses a winning field goal from 38 yards, and the other team hits a 61-yarder at the point, whatever. I mean, how are they playing? Are you seeing not just Cam, but are you seeing any of these young guys, some of this draft class, doing anything? Right? It is possible to lose a lot of close games in the league and look competitive and have some hope, but that's the thing. Like you said, when you're coming off what they're coming off, it's still going to be really hard for people to find much joy in that. Talking about the draft in October really gets old.
And frankly, it's possible, but it's also extremely unlikely that if Cam Ward is taking the kind of steps that you're hoping he's taken from year 1 to year 2, that you're still just going to be losing all these football games. It's not likely to happen. If he's taken the step forward that you need him to take from year 1 to year 2, I got a hard time believing that's going to be well, Cam Ward's taking all the steps we need him to take, but the Titans are still 4-13. You'd have to be just absolutely atrocious everywhere else for that to be the case in my mind.
Yeah, I agree. But I still would. I've said this already. I'll take, if I'm a Titans fan, I'll take, 5-12 with huge defensive issues, injuries, whatever. But Cam Ward looks way better as opposed to 9-8 because the defense is lights out and your offense still stinks and Cam Ward doesn't get any better.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. The power rankings around the league right now, including with Joe's disrespectful publication at The Athletic, suggest that the Titans not going to be any good. We'll get your thoughts on that. 615-737-1025. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Our football offseason coverage brought to you by Tennessee Brew Works, the official craft beer of offseason coverage here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com will be with us a little bit later in the program, taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025.
Texter's like, Jiminy Crickets, y'all trying to get people to get out of our cars in traffic and jump off a bridge?
We are not trying to do that at all.
My idea for a segment is, what if the Titans win 14 games next year? What if?
I talked about that one. Yeah.
What would we do? What would we say?
I'd be doing cartwheels. You know how tired I am talking about bad football around here? I remember a time on the program where they were good enough where we used to actually talk about like games and opponents every week.
Matchups.
And then last year, about mid-October, it was like, well, I guess nobody cares about that anymore. Let's start talking about who all's going to get fired at the end of the year.
How many football seasons do we have where we're like, yeah, we had like 3 football seasons of like, these are huge games.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about
Been a minute.
some of the best matchups in this game. And
I'd like to get back to some of that.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
That would be nice. Let's head to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in Ed in New Jersey to the program. Ed, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, good morning, guys. Joe, I think I largely agree with you about it's more about Ward, but I think that the other side of that coin is that if Ward progresses and it doesn't come with the wins, then in my mind, it's almost, it opens up the same amount of questions about Saleh, because, you know, the jury's still out on both the quarterback and the head coach here.
For sure.
And evidence would say that Saleh is not a good head coach. Great DC, but not a head coach. So, you know, at the end of the year, if we're sitting at 6 wins or 5-6 wins and Ward's a top 10 quarterback, great. Now Dayball's probably gone. And now I'm left with Saleh, and he can't win more than 6 games with a top 10 quarterback. So I think it opens up. So I think they both have to be tied together in order for, you know, I get what you're saying. It's more important for Ward, but I think it both has to be tied together. Otherwise, it's going to lead to the questions about the head coach, and that's another can of worms.
Thank you, Ed.
For
Appreciate
sure.
it.
I mean, any bad record, like there's gonna like, okay, whose fault is it? That'll happen. I'm just saying, if you at least have Cam Ward showing you progress, it's like, okay, there is hope in some way. Maybe it is. Maybe it's hope with the next coach, and that's also a problem. I mean, but yeah, no, you're right. If they're 3-14 or they're 4-13, something's really bad.
If they're 3-14 or 4-13 this year, we're going to be having conversations about the coach. We're going to be having conversations about the GM and the quarterback. Like, all those things will be happening at the end of the year. Like, it's, again, they don't have to make the playoffs. I'm not saying that you got to go make the playoffs this year, but it's time to take a meaningful step forward. Like, you drafted a quarterback number 1 overall. You've drafted a receiver number 4 overall. You've spent, at this point, heavy draft capital on some edge rushers that need to come in and play well for you. You've revamped your entire defense with a coach that's a defensive guru. Like, you need to have good defense this year. I'm sorry. Like, you do. Like, all these things, it's, as we've talked about for a couple of weeks, it ain't that hard in the NFL to go from completely horrendous to average. It's not hard. It's a league, frankly, that's designed for you to do that. So you need to go do that if you're the Titans this year. It's not asking for much.
I mean, you've done all those things. You've given yourself an edge by putting the media way over here, not letting them kneel down when they watch practice. I mean, there's a lot of things you've done that should lead.
Yeah, I mean, the media are watching practice from the Fox 17 television station over there. They're just right around the corner.
I wonder if Kuharsky's going to get one of those little, like, personal helicopter things, you know what I mean? Like, to buzz around. You see Kuharsky in one of those.
This is my drone at paulkuharsky.com. Craig says, I understand what you're saying about circumstances and everything, but at some point, everyone needs to stop making excuses for both the Titans and the Preds. At some point, you got to be not okay with losing. You are what your record says you are. That's kind of where I'm at on this. Like, I understand that it's hard to sit here in May, as we just laid out, and go through everything that might happen in a football season from September to December. But frankly, like, I don't really care what the story looks like if they can't get to like 7 or 8 wins this year. If they can't do that, to me, it's a huge problem. Like, barring, you know, Ward getting hurt in the first game of the season, being out the whole year, right? I mean, that derails everything. But assuming relatively good health. I don't think it's like there's not really much that could go on out there for me to be like, well, they only won 4 games this year, but they lost 7 of them by 3. So I guess we can feel good about it heading into next year. Like, I'm beyond that. Let's go. Let's get this thing moving.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to win. You got to win football games. Texter says, I disagree with that caller. If the Titans win 6 and Ward looks much better this season, I'll be happy with Ward and Saleh in year 1. But you can't say you'll be happy with Saleh because if Ward does look much better, I mean, again, 6-11, I mean, it is progress. So I guess
it's doubling your win total.
Yeah. But if Ward really does look that much better, again, to me, that's still the most important thing. But I don't know that you'd be happy with Saleh because there must be other things that are going on that aren't what they were supposed to be.
And look, I think everybody still recognizes that there are holes on the roster, right? Which is, again, why I'm saying it's not like you have to go be some playoff team this year. But to me, they have patched enough holes where you should not be horrendous, right? Like you shouldn't be a 2 or 3 win football team. You shouldn't be 4-13 after this season is done. Like their defense, like I actually kind of like their front 7, right? Like they're, especially up the middle, I think they got a chance to be pretty good. We'll see on the edge rushers. I mean, that's a big question. I like their corners if they can stay healthy. Now, that's a question of whether or not they can stay healthy, but if they do, I kind of like them. Like, so like they've done some, I think, good work this offseason. There's still holes. Like it may become obvious, Joe, by game 3 that Cam Ward has to start shotgun every snap because everybody's coming up the middle and he's just going to start running for his life immediately. I have no idea the way that part of it's going to play out.
That if that's the case, even more than like the edges not being good, that would be the biggest indictment of Borgonzi because, well, okay, so Cam Ward is its own separate thing, but on paper to us, from what we know, it just doesn't look like they took it seriously enough or they addressed it enough, you know. And now there are possibilities. There is some depth. There is some competition. So if it ends up being fine, okay, well, they had a better feel for this guy, that guy, or how it was going to work. If it's a disaster there, then sometimes it's like just the obvious thing in front of everybody's face is exactly what it is, whether you're a GM or one of us or, you know, a season ticket holder. And to me, that would be a really, when you're trying to help your young quarterback and you just don't do what you need to do to protect him and it goes south, that would be a bad look for Borgonzi.
One texter says, I feel like Robby's the expectation Robby has going into this year are way too high for this team, and he's going to end up just hating next season. I feel like you're doubling your win total from the year before. It was a great start for Saleh in year 1. Well, again, like I'm getting them to like 7 wins. Is that?
Yeah.
I'm not saying they got to go win 10, but get to like 7. I don't think that's too much to ask. And yeah, that's more than doubling your win total, but getting to 7 and 10 in the NFL should not be some monumental task here for the draft capital and the picks and the work that they've done here.
Right. And we've talked about it in these terms too. I really think this matters. Like what's your record with 4 or 5 games to go? Are you playing games in December where you actually still have more than just a faint mathematical chance of getting the postseason? Are you playing meaningful games and maybe you drop a couple, you know, you're 6 and 8. Okay. And then, you know, you drop close games and you end up 6 and 11. That's different than being like 3 and 11 and you get some meaningless wins at the end to screw your draft position. Right. Like, can you hang in there and stay relevant for a lot of the football season?
Well, and by the way, like, you know, again, figuring out what the schedule looks like and correlating win total as we sit here in May is a hard thing to do. But you play the Raiders this year. You play the Jets this year. You play the Browns this year. You play the Giants this year. Like, there are teams on your schedule that you absolutely should go out there and, like, you got to get some wins right there, right? And that's not to mention, like, you just don't need to get totally steamrolled by your division this year. Like, you got to go start to pick up some wins, make some progress there. Like, it's not some on the surface impossible schedule. Do they have tough games? Yeah. Like, they got to go to Baltimore this year, you know, going to Cincinnati. Who knows what the Bengals will be, but they're going to Cincinnati this year. They got Philadelphia coming into town, right? Like, so they got to go to the Lions. So there are some games that they're just not going to have enough talent in some of these games. Everybody recognizes that, but this is not some just huge insurmountable thing to ask that in year 2 from your number 1 overall pick at quarterback and everything that you've put around him, you've drafted the number 4 pick at wide receiver, you've revamped your defense, you brought in a new coaching staff. It shouldn't be that much to go from 3 wins to like 7 or 8. That's all I'm saying.
One would think. No, you're right. That's a totally fair expectation.
But people don't seem to have that expectation when it comes to these lists I'm looking at the offseason.
Yeah. And
not that means anything, but
I would hope they're not going. Vegas odds definitely like in the next year's draft. I mean, that's what they do, and that's what you should do. But yeah, like 32 is.
If it's 32
is tough. Man.
I don't know if I can sit through that again.
What would that mean? That would mean Jeremiah Smith, though,
or Arch Manning, one of the two.
Well, God, go right to another quarterback.
Yeah. 615-737-1025, our phone number. A lot more of your thoughts to get to on the Titans. We will do that. Kuharsky with us in the second half of the program. All that coming up. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Boxing fans, 102.5 The Game and Team Boxing League. Have your chance to win tickets to see the Nashville Smash take on the Boston Butchers at Municipal Auditorium on Saturday, May 23rd. 16 rounds, 16 fighters, each going at it for nonstop action. Text the keyword FIGHT to the game text line at 615-737-1025 to be entered for your chance to win.
When do they take on the London Decapitators?
Well, I don't know. The
That
Boston
would be-
Butchers.
Yeah.
What if the Boston
Very
Butchers
violent.
like just totally suck? Like you can't have that name and not be any good, right?
Yeah. Boston Butchers with
They just
glass
can't fight
chins.
anybody.
Glass chins galore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Speaking of glass chins, Paul Kuharsky's in the house.
Paul Kuharsky from
Long
PaulKuharsky.com
wind up there.
It's with us. BK, how we doing?
I'm well, thank you.
We had a lot of people highly looking forward to your visit this week. So
Yeah,
looking
you
forward
got
to
a
that.
lot of things to complain
Every
about
week,
today.
every week.
Every week it's in there. Good stuff. We're having the conversation, PK, about just the importance level for this football team to demonstrate some meaningful progress this year. Outside expectations don't seem to be very high that they're going to do that. I don't think it's that hard to get to 7 or 8 wins this year and with the way that the NFL is designed. Am I crazy? Your thoughts?
No, I mean, I see a lot of drafts for next year that have them picking 4th and 5th. I think it's hard to get excited about the prospect of that. As much as people love their drafts, if you're
Joe's already
excited
talking
right
about Jeremiah
now
Smith.
about a high pick for them next year, that's really disappointing. I mean, I'm not big on picking a number, but I think, when people say, oh, doubling their total, well, look, when you're winning 1, 2, or 3 games, doubling isn't a big deal.
It's true.
When you're winning 7 and you're talking about doubling your total, then that's a big accomplishment. That's a real big jump into elite football.
You're really good at math. Tell
But
us more.
thank
Mr.
you.
Science.
But doubling 3, Joe, is not getting yourself into, some major league territory. You're still not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you're still one of the lesser teams in the league. So I think for fans to be happy with this team, last year was the year where you said, well, it doesn't really matter, if it shows up in the wins and losses, so long as Cam's on a good track. We know the roster's thin and all of that. All of this floor raising should get you closer to, I know there's no 500 anymore. That's another thing, Joe, with 17 games.
Oh, yeah.
Right. But we still think of teams as
Can't do Jeff Fisher Day anymore.
as 8 and 8.
Yeah, good point.
They should be closer to that mid-tier team when the floor has been raised to the degree that they've raised the floor. Now, I think getting beyond that,
Supposedly.
the ceiling needs to go up, and I don't think the ceiling is particularly high. But they've done a lot of work on the floor. And if you don't see tangible results of the floor, plus a schedule that seems more reasonable, then I think that's going to be a huge disappointment. Even if Robby was saying, even if Cam is better, and ascending and they're still losing games, then something else is broken that shouldn't be so broken.
But see, you say that they've done a lot of work on the floor and not much in the ceiling. I see a quarterback at 1 followed by a receiver at 4. That should be ceiling work.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be
But-
ceiling lifting.
But
Right?
that's about, and the defensive front should be ceiling lifting if in fact they're going to get to the quarterback with 4. I need to see them getting to the quarterback with 4.
Does
to be
anybody ever work on
convinced.
like the bedroom on the second floor? You know what I mean? Like we never work on the guts of the house. It's,
I think when you're stacked, and you make that last trade to get that last piece. I think when you're the 98 Titans going into 99 and you get Javon Curse, that's the guest room.
or like Julio Jones. He's like the exotic ad, the walk-in closet that
Yeah, but
doesn't,
then you're
but the door doesn't work.
yeah,
As we
then you're
pointed out-
unhappy with the contractor, and you're like, this didn't turn out how we expected.
As we pointed out, Titans 1 for 1 with getting the 1 seed in the AFC with Julio Jones on their team. 1 for 1. 100%, baby.
You're not wrong.
That's how it went.
And that's who Brian Tannehill was trying to throw to in that first pick of 3 he threw, right?
Yeah,
I
believe it was. Yeah. I believe that it was.
Memories.
I'm just saying, like, I think people just keep presenting scenarios where it's like, well, Cam Ward can make the progress you're looking to make from year 1 to year 2, and the Titans could still be horrible. I mean, and I guess it's possible, but that's just not really how things work in the NFL. Like, if the quarterback, particularly where you drafted your quarterback at number 1, if he's starting to turn into the player you need him to be, that's going to correlate in the win total.
Well, it's going to correlate to points. And if they're scoring, if they go from 17 to 23 and this defense is, 17 to 20 point defense, you would think that translates to more wins. Again, some basic math for you, Joe.
I just
throwing out some really basic impressive numbers. Yeah,
that's why he's a professor.
That's right. You done grading your papers, by the way?
No, that my
finals coming up.
My second group just finished their projects yesterday.
So you don't have a final, you have projects.
Projects.
That's good. I kind of like that.
Why don't you bring some in? Why don't you let us grade a few?
Yeah.
Let the listeners grade a few.
There are quite a few reasons why I don't do that. Yeah, quite a few.
Could be fun.
Man. It could be.
No one's listening.
I do have to dig in.
No one's listening. It's fine.
I do have to dig in today to some of that.
We can just change their names.
What do you think? You mentioned raising the floor. I would agree. I think the moves that they've made this offseason should raise the floor. I feel much better about their defense. I have questions about edge rusher. We've talked ad nauseum about questions about the offensive line. What do you think is at stake? Not in terms of job security or anything, but just finding out, like with Robert Saleh this year, based on what he's got on the roster, what he still doesn't have on the roster. What do you think we learn about him in year 1? And how much do you attach that to a win total in year 1?
Well, to the first part of your question, I think, how well can they survive the weakest link? To a degree, you're only as good as the worst person. And if they've got a really bad right guard or really bad center, how much can they cover for that? I'm impressed with everything, and I wrote a big piece about Brasillo shortly after he arrived. Reputation is really good, but what can he do with those 5 guys for those 2 spots? And, are we going to be 6 games into the season saying, man, they really underestimated what they needed there? I think that's a real legitimate concern. And I understand what Mike Borgonzi's saying about what you can do with what you can get out of toughness there, but you can only get so much out of toughness there. I mean, there are a lot of tough centers and guards around the league who get caught and who wind up backups and who are super tough, but just not good enough to play the positions.
Yeah, you definitely need to be good at football. I'd
right.
say that should be part of the equation too.
Yeah. And he hasn't emphasized that. He's emphasized that you can be good enough through toughness and grit and smarts. And sure, there are a lot of guys in the league. I mean, was Ben Jones the most athletic offensive lineman ever? No, he's kind of prototypically what they're talking about.
Yep.
He's undersized and smart and tough and understood how to do things, but he also met a certain bar of what you needed to be physically.
Yeah.
And just the more Borgonzi continues to hit the theme, I feel like he is intentionally or unintentionally leaving out the requisite athleticism. Now, Cardoza, I'm already struggling with his name. Carmona is more athletic than he's getting credit for because we're bunching him in with Coogan, right? And Coogan's kind of dragging him.
Coogan? What is it?
Coogan. We're dragging him down a little bit. We're dragging the earlier pick down because he's connected to the later pick. But I mean, I think Coogan, he's the guy that you have every reason to cheer for to be a Ben Jones, except he's not as good a football player as Ben Jones.
I mean, there's even some of this, I mean, with Cam Ward, and first of all, the intangibles do matter, but like there's a little bit of that too, right?
Yeah, in order to make it on intangibles, you have to have a certain level of
Tangibles.
Football, yeah,
Tangibles.
tangibles. Thank you.
Tangibles.
That should be the slogan for this episode of this show. In order to make it on the tangibles, you have to have a certain level of tangibles.
That's right.
And I think some of these guys that they're counting on, particularly, and I don't think they're counting on Coogan. I mean, Ziegler said, if I thought this was really good. He said, we're confident Coogan is going to max out what Coogan could be. Now, that might be that he's a backup.
Yeah.
Right.
The question becomes, what is he? Yeah.
We don't know what the max of Coogan will be. We're just confident we're going to get the max of him. Now, that's a good way to look at it. But you can't be counting on that guy going in, and that's why they're not counting on that guy going in.
And like Victor Cardoza, can he pull? Like, what does he do? You know?
We'll have the Rex rant with Joe Rexrode.
I mean, is it not a somewhat forgettable name?
What's his on-base percentage?
The Rex
It's
rant
Mendoza,
coming up
right?
next.
The quarterback?
There you go.
Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. It is time for the Rex Rant, brought to you by Rapid Response Generators. Power when it matters most. Check them out at rapidresponsegenerators.com. We should probably play that at least once a show. It's awesome.
God, listen
Shout out
to
to Scott.
Creed. Listen to Creed just massacre rock and roll.
I agree.
That was, man, what a band. What a guy.
Faithful listener.
Yeah.
I want State Farm Arena put on trial. Speaking of real rock music, Simon and I went Springsteen.
I saw that
on Saturday night there, but
Wait.
they can't get people in the building in Atlanta.
Oh, you were in Atlanta.
Yeah.
It wasn't. So wait, what was wrong? Oh,
they can't get people in the
getting
building.
was a problem. Yeah.
people.
Was the show good?
The show was spectacular, except I missed the first song and a half because they can't get people in the building.
Oh man. Okay. Well, see, I could have let you have the rant. But I actually want. I have a press I have two press conferences involving hockey. Okay, to deal with today. One is just, I guess, really like the point of the rant. But then I want to get your thoughts, PK, on the other one, because you came to mind for a lot of people. But first of all, let's quickly go to the Barrie Colts of the OHL's Eastern Conference Championship. They were down 3-0 and they came back and beat the Brantford Bulldogs in Game 7 to win the series.
Big matchup.
Big matchup.
They'd come back.
And so their coach, Dylan Smoskowitz, and also their captain, Sean Aitchison. Yeah, I'd love to hear you come up with alternatives for these names. They had a press conference about the big win, about the huge comeback, about the big win. There was media there assembled to try to get some, what do we do, PK? We try to say how and why, right? We try to say how and why, whether it's win or lose. You got some questions, you got some answers. Here's the press conference.
Coach, words probably escape you after that one. Maybe you can try your best.
No one cares. Work harder.
Okay, Sean, big moment for you, a goal tonight. Hostile environment. What can you say about the way your goaltender played in that one?
No one cares. Work harder.
Questions?
Can you just contrast what you must have been feeling 6 days ago, leaving the arena, losing 6-1, and what you're feeling now?
Yeah, it's a good question. No one cares. Work harder.
Ben Rabbit, or shutout, what he did in Game 6, Game 5, everything goes on and on.
Really good. No one cares. Work harder.
Cash, what did it mean for you and Colo to share that moment?
No, yeah. No one cares. Work harder.
Okay, I think we get it, right? If you watch this presser too, especially like the player,
It's extremely awkward.
it's so cringe. I mean, cringe is not a good enough word. But the player in particular, because this was the coach's idiotic freaking idea, you could tell it was like, God, this is so bad. But he was like, no one cares. Work harder. Like,
fellas, Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com. People do care. They want to understand how you could have collapsed in this fashion, and this cliched frat deal that you're doing with this answer isn't going to make things better. So could one of you be brave enough to delve into your collapse, please?
Well, they won. That's the thing about it.
Right.
They're the team that won.
They're the team that won.
And
Yes.
they were pulling all this
yes,
crap.
they won. They came back from the 3-0. So it's like
So this was a magnificent comeback, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Why turn off your fans with this lack of insight into what you just pulled off, which was great? Are you trying to make sure they don't buy tickets to the next series?
like, I don't want to take this too far, but I would never, ever, if I saw that, hire Dylan Smoskowitz for any job after that. And so what he does the next day is he goes on TSN,
Yeah.
and he like apologizes, but yeah, this great I did, blah, blah, blah. I regret the decision. Okay, so again, your local media gets screwed, gets nothing when they covered your series against the Brantford Bulldogs. But now let's go on TSN, and yeah, you're unhireable. I'm sorry. You may be the greatest coach of all time. That press conference to me tells me that you are unhireable.
It's pretty bad. Like, I don't know what could possess you to be like, yeah, this is a great idea. Let's go do this.
Let's keep saying it over and over again. Like, yeah, look at this. Here's a quote from him for TSN. Quote, "That was a big oopsie and something that I'll learn from. You better believe it won't happen again. You said the word oopsie after all that. Holy cow." We don't have time for
This guy's a genius.
yeah, Dylan Smoskowitz. Great job. We don't have time actually for the I do want you quickly to respond, maybe next segment quickly on this. I just would like to. I think it'd be nice.
We can do it right now. Yeah.
Do we have time now?
We got time.
Okay, all right.
We got nothing but time.
We got time.
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hired bad hire for GM. So here we go.
Steve Simmons, Toronto Sun, for Keith. You talk about the due diligence that you did on John prior to hiring him and now hiring him. In the past, say 3 to 4 days, I have been in contact with about 20 people who work in the National Hockey League, many of whom are prominent names that we would all know. And of the 20 people I spoke to, one was supportive of John's hiring and the other 19 thought it was a sham, to be perfectly honest. Words were used like con artist, liar, salesman. How did you come to a different conclusion that I was able to come to in a very short time?
I must have talked to different people.
That's it? Because I'm telling you, the hockey world today is astounded by this announcement.
Okay.
And your response to that?
Is we've conducted due diligence and it was deep due diligence. It was a thorough process and I'm quite happy with where we've landed.
Okay. Out of bounds or no, PK? That line of questioning.
I mean, it would have been much better away from the podium, right?
Wow. I didn't realize you were this soft. Continue.
I mean, I think it's a fair. You're going to get a better answer away from the podium. Now, it is nice to get them on the record for that, but you're really doing work for a lot of other people more than yourself.
Oh, that's right. Your selfishness is coming through
there.
here.
Yeah, I want it for
You're
me.
more selfish than soft, I guess.
Yeah, I want it for myself. But I mean, it's a pretty good detailed reporting that he did in short order to be able to talk to 20 guys and get that result. You're not going to get much better answer than that guy unless he gets defensive and heated, which is
you can act like a man, Stilly.
Probably what he would like. Yeah, why don't you give me the name of those 20 guys and we'll see how many of them overlap with me and we'll decide whether they're lying to me or lying to you.
By the way, real quick, this guy also went on another show, Steve Simmons. He's like, Maple Leafs fans hate him, but now they love him because he asked that question, I guess. But you can kind of relate to that, PK. But he went on this other show, and he was told by people that this guy, John Chega, had 6 computers in his office that had all this data on them. And then someone went in there and was like, hey, these aren't working. It's like, yeah, there's only one of them that's actually – the other thing, they just have like fake stuff on the screen to make them look smart. Like, seriously.
That's the GM.
Now, that's a hell of a piece of reporting.
He should have said that. He should have said that in the presser.
That's a hell of a piece
5
of
of your 6 screens in your office don't serve any function.
Yeah, they're for sure.
615-737-1025, our phone number.
That would be good.
615-737-1025. Kuharsky with us the rest of the program. We got a lot of stuff on the Titans front to get into with him. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com with us here on the program, presented by Rapid Response Generators. Power when it matters most. We will take your questions for PK at 615-737-1025 here on our phone and text lines, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Is that the new? I like that little Scorpions hurricane to instead of the Here Comes the Hurricane.
Just for today.
I kind of like it, man.
I like it too.
I like it better. No, PK.
Gotta stick with the sentimentality.
That's true. There's sentimentality involved.
People like tradition, good tradition.
Good tradition.
It's in the
like
DNA.
the drum line.
It's in the
like,
DNA.
like the drum
It's in
line.
the DNA.
The drum line over at Nissan Stadium. That love.
Yeah.
People can't get enough of that.
Oh, yeah.
What I love is like the fourth quarter. It's a big, close game. Like I
hear the train.
I mean, I love Johnny Cash, but you know
I love
what
when
I'm
people are walking in, they get fired up. It's easy like Sunday morning. Everybody go back to bed.
saying. Wow, look at you! Look at you and your Lionel Richie impersonation.
Pretty good.
Thank you.
Pretty
Voice
good.
of an angel.
Pretty good.
Two questions as we begin this hour. Number one, your impressions of Titans rookie minicamp, and number two, were you close enough on the field to see any of
Do
it?
you have any? Could you get any?
I mean, look, they decided to do things differently, which is fine. We didn't see any of the draft picks, see the undrafteds, and see 58 guys who are, back on their track to go sell insurance. They didn't sign one of them. So, I mean, is it worth sifting through 58 guys to see if you find a diamond? Sure. Did they? No. So, I mean, it's a complete non-event, really. I'm not happy about the new restrictions. I think it's completely unnecessary. I think there's a big step between saying, hey, we don't really like how you guys manage the boundaries that we put in place. Let's be more intentional about it this year. Part of it, they didn't like their people talking to our people during that. Well, that's a you problem. Tell your people not to talk to us. Remind us.
People got distracted from doing their job.
Remind us not to talk to your people, but tell your people not to talk to us. How big of babies are they that they can't control themselves? I mean, there's going to be some information exchange and some conversations had. Do you want to be relatable or not? Is it a Gestapo tactic? I mean, it's just dumb. It's a dumb thing for them to be worried about. Now, listen. I'm not of this thing like two things can't happen at the same time. Like don't worry about the media thing, worry about being a good football team. They can worry about both at the same time. But there's no reason to worry about the media thing. They're worried about us as a safety concern during the construction thing, and Gentry Estes wrote a good column. A guy ran into the safety fence, which is pretty close. The construction going on one field to the field that they're playing on. And guess who had absolutely nothing to do with that? The media or the media positioning. And so it's just a lot of
Hunger
nonsense.
Games out there.
And listen, when John Robinson started, when things started not going well for him on the football side, a bunch of little stuff like this added up against him. So just don't do the little stuff that'll add up against you and make a case against you to go with when football goes bad.
Okay.
And that would be my advice to Mike Morganzi. Don't worry about dumb stuff. John Robinson was worried about potholes in the parking lot that was not under his purview. And they're making it like this is the PR guy's thing. It's not. It's the GM's thing.
Okay. First of all, explain the kneeling down thing. That's the part of it that I don't understand. But also, you just said John Robinson, little things added up. Potholes. What else?
Oh, I'd have to go through it. But he was doing dumb stuff that was not
Dumb stuff to hurt the team.
Yeah, dumb stuff to hurt the team. Dumb stuff that was not focused on his main thing that was going to get him hired or fired, which was personnel. And when you start worrying about potholes as much as you're worrying about picks, it distracts you. I just said you can do two things at the same time, and you can. But why you could go to the person responsible for the parking lot and say, I want that pothole fixed, and then let it go instead of calling for bids on the thing. You're over involving yourself in stuff that's not important. What was the first part of that?
Oh, the kneeling down. What the hell does that have to do with
You
anything?
never should kneel down or sit during a practice. A bunch of these, there are two factions of people that come out and cover practice. People that come out and watch practice and take notes and try to stay engaged. And sometimes we get distracted in conversations with ourselves, but it's about what we're watching generally. And other people that come out and there's some bleachers there and they go, oh, I'm going to sit down and relax. I'm very tired. I'm going to look like I'm practically taking a nap.
Why is that a policy, though?
Well, that should be a policy. If we're letting you come out to practice, come out and watch practice. If you're going to sit on the thing, I tell people this all the time. Hey, get off your knee. That's not what we're here for. I mean, that's a long-standing thing. That's at any NFL football practice. If you're so tired that you need to be on your knee, go home and take a nap. I don't have a problem with that. Be a professional. That's not new. That rule's been there forever. It just doesn't get enforced. I've tried to enforce it. Like, hey, dude, Vrabel's not going to be real fired up if he looks over and sees you like sitting on your ass. Get up. That's fine. Also, like if you're sitting there and a ball comes your direction and you need to get out of the way of a player spilling over, you're not equipped to get out of the way.
That's true. Better to be on your feet.
Okay.
Better to be.
Were you a big practice sitter?
No, I've never seen anybody sit at a practice. Sit on the sideline?
Rexrode
crisscross applesauce
in the corner of the end zone.
Oh,
Rexrode, get up.
But here,
Silly, please catch the field goal.
Here's part of this. And I know people are going to say, stop whining and we don't care and all that. Look, I don't tell you about your work environment. Like they spent whatever it costs to make a media patio there, which is our outdoor headquarters. And now we're not going to be able to go to the media patio before practice to like put our stuff down or go have a cup of water and catch shade for a couple minutes.
Really?
They said, we'll put up a tent over there where you can go. So it's a good thing you spent tens of thousands of dollars to create the media patio on which we're not allowed to step a foot until after practice. What is that? It's so stupid.
Look, you said that you can be worried about two things at the same time, and you can, frankly, but like to me, I do buy into this. Like, this is just another example, and I understand people listening about like media policies, their natural responses. We don't care.
Right.
And
Stop crying about it. Right.
But to me, it is more indicative. Like, why are you even worried about this if you're the Titans? Like, it does not give me confidence that you're worried about the right things when you're wondering about where the freaking media is standing.
And
on the
people do seem to like, this is a training camp story for them. They do seem to like videos from training camp.
So is this
and the videos from training camp will be lesser quality.
Okay, two more questions. I don't know why I keep coming at two at once. Is this going to significantly, once we get into camp and there's actual football going on, significantly affect the information that independent media can give to fans, one? And two, is this, in your mind, is this essentially just so that their own content is enhanced compared to independent media?
That's a side effect of it, yes. And if something's going on.
Intentional side effect?
I don't think they mind it, for sure. I mean, if there's a play going on in the far corner of the end zone that's toughest for us to reach, and it's a guy flat out dropping a ball, Titans video is not going to put that out. I would like the ability to put that out. My video is going to be crappy.
You got I must applaud our listeners. We do have a lot of nobody cares, work harder on the text line right now.
Nice.
You should care. I mean, I don't understand why people in this market are so determined that they know better than the people that do the job. Like if you're a lawn care guy out there or a driveway paver or a lawyer or a doctor, I am not convinced that I know your job better than you. Now I'm going into my 30th season doing this, and I don't know why so many damn people are so hell-bent that they understand a media policy better than I do. You don't. Sorry.
I think that's very fair.
Keep going. We just wind you up like a wind-up doll. Pull the string.
No, I think he's been pretty reserved today. I think this has been good.
He's getting a little heated, though.
No.
Not as heated as you guys managed to make me.
With what?
With the way you conspire against me.
Oh, you poor guy.
he was really hurt that we inspired.
It was just like 5 minutes later, like,
week.
damn it, they got
me.
They
got me again.
They got me.
What was it? We can revisit.
Just,
we can revisit.
You got him going.
It was your Pavia garbage.
Yeah, 8
Pavia.
seconds into your it's Diego Pavia to you.
But it actually was beautiful because Dan Patrick actually said Shadur Sanders. Amazing.
Congratulations on this graduation. I'm just so thrilled for you. I mean, there were times where you thought this boy was who knows what? And
No,
now he's
you
a
got
college
it. You got it
graduate.
mixed up. You got it mixed up.
Wrong boy.
Oh yeah, this boy has always been a good student. Yeah, we're fine with him.
He was graduating from the moment he set foot up there.
Yeah.
But who's your
thank you though.
Who's your favorite child though?
I don't have one. I love them all.
I should have really got him that day.
Almost did.
I know.
It was just the right time.
It was. 615-737-1025. Our phone number. Lots more to get to with PK coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. I don't know, man. I think this kind of sets the tone for what we've seen over the last few years anyway.
Sleepy football. I mean, I think, their attitude is like we're going to ease people in and then really light them up. But since there's no lighting them up, I think it's just bad. And they don't adjust on the fly ever. Nobody would ever come in and say, I mean, this is like unheard of over there, that somebody would walk in and say, hey, you know what? I don't think that works for us where we are. Like, I know our people love that and they're addicted to it. But what if we changed it to something that was more like pump people up coming into the building? I don't think they even have meetings that like comprehend things like that. There's no thinker over there that would walk into a meeting and say, instead of playing sleepy music when people walk into our building, what if we played something that pumped them up? If somebody actually said that, like, it would be a sign of the apocalypse over there. Like, glasses would crack and the temple curtains would rip and there'd be an earthquake.
You're like, will you play the boss, please? My hometown.
Kings of
My
Leon.
hometown.
Something.
Something with Kings of Leon. There we go.
Something with a beat.
Now you're getting into it.
And I feel like it'd have to be like the Dropkick Murphys or something Boston for Borgonzi to get behind it.
Yeah.
Now that's a jam. I like that song.
That's a banger.
Yeah, I went home and slept, and Mary Jo didn't swim.
Dude, you keep bringing it back to that horrible tragedy. My goodness.
That's where the Boston accent takes me.
Texter says Paul knows coaching better than the coaches, though. Do you know the coach? You seem to act like you know the coaching, Paul. What? Do you know it better than them? Fair question.
Yeah, the job is to critique. I don't know if you're a driveway paver.
Here we go again.
Is the job to critique? I mean, you're certainly open to critique, but I don't know if you understand. Like the it's a media policy. I'm at media, and the team is putting down the policy. I just don't know how you're so expert on it. So if you want to criticize me criticizing the coach, that makes sense. But if you want to criticize my interpreting the media policy, that's a different lane, don't we think?
I would agree.
I would agree with you.
Also, when the coach, like last year, doesn't know the rule, I mean, sometimes you're like, yeah, okay, I think I knew that rule. Cool, let's get after it.
Yeah, media people knew that rule, unlike the coach. So there was that. Another text says, I don't think people think they know media policy better than PK. I think it's more that they don't care.
Well,
that's fine. I'm telling you, though, there are implications for what you will read and see. And why you don't care about that, I don't know. Because, listen, I don't run a radio station. But here you are listening. I should. I agree. I wish I had the funding and the license and all of that. But these people are listening to the conversation about it. The amount of people who don't care about it, but are taking the time to comment on my post.
How little they care about it.
Yeah. And also, nobody would even know about this policy change, but for one tweet by me. Here's another commentary on the media.
I knew we'd get there at some point.
There we
The
go.
soft Nashville media.
Absolutely. I mean, everybody's willing after I tweet about it to comment on it or whatever.
Gentry had a good column.
Yes. Gentry had a good column. That's fine. I put out that this was happening. If I didn't put out that this was happening, would anybody have done anything?
You think that Gentry wouldn't have written that column without your tweet?
He might have. And kudos to Gentry.
Okay.
But there are more than two of us in the media corps.
That's true.
This is an issue that everybody in the media corps has a strong feeling about. And how many of us are? A dozen?
Maybe more. But yeah.
You know who I think?
So 2 out of a dozen felt compelled to say something about it, and the rest just sit there.
I bet you if Tic Tac Titans were there, he would have said something, though.
Tic Tac Titans has never seen a media policy in his life. Why do you all just sit there?
What about Easton? Is that your new feud? Aren't you having a public feud with Easton for East, too?
Easton, I'm
good?
sure,
You guys
had
good?
some background
Headlock?
conversation and thinks that's the way to get everything done in the background. Easton is part of why the policy has changed. It's not part of why the policy will be reconsidered.
What'd he
which it
do?
won't be.
What do you do?
I don't.
Oh, I think you do.
No, I really don't.
I really don't.
If I'll say this, if Easton knew how to have a private conversation with the source, it would be better for everyone instead of having conversations in front of everyone.
Okay.
No, we were ready to move on, but you had more to say. Okay.
The latest at paulkuharsky.com, which is something we've talked to you before about, but is really fascinating here with what they've done at number 4. And that is, how important is speed, particularly at wide receiver, particularly when you're drafting a wide receiver as high as they did with Carnell Tate. We all know Carnell Tate's 40 time. It's not necessarily setting the world on fire. You watch him play in college. Certainly doesn't look slow out there, but everybody knows he's not some burner. So when you look at Tate, his ability to run a variety of different routes, his ability to get open in the NFL, which ultimately is going to be what matters here and how good he is. What have you kind of learned? What have you uncovered here about Carnell Tate and what they value with Carnell Tate, leading to them taking him at number 4?
Well, look, he's different than DeAndre Hopkins, right? He's not as physical. DeAndre Hopkins is very physical at the catch point. I think Carnell Tate is better at buying himself some separation at the catch point with route craft more than speed. And I'm not calling him slow. He's kind of average for his kind of guy. And he plays faster. I get all that. But look, you don't look at Carnell Tate and say fast. That's not like the first thing you talk about. Talk about his route craft, his ability to contort, his ability to high point, his ability to gain space by being savvy. And in that regard, he's a little bit like DeAndre Hopkins, right? DeAndre Hopkins wasn't a big yard after the catch guy. He would slide sometimes. I had an argument with him about that I didn't love it. And he was like, hey, when a play's over and you get what you can and get up. I don't know that Tate will be sliding, but, at the start, he's not a big yards after the catch guy. But I talked at the combine, and I went back and found my stuff to Colton Hood and to Jermod McCoy, guys both well-known around here. Hood went, 5-6 picks into the second round. Yep. McCoy didn't end up going till the top of the fourth because of his knee issue. But they both said, and part of this is cornerback ego, but not as concerned with speed as with route craft, which I think is changing a little bit in the league. Now, I think you're concerned with Tyreek Hill's speed, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But I think increasingly I've come to realize, and we've talked about this, that outside of Tyreek Hill's speed, I put too much into speed on wide receivers. And we see guys time and time again.
I don't think that's different, dude. I mean, Jerry Rice didn't run well.
Right.
Ronaldo Nehemiah couldn't play football.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
yeah.
that's
But
the
there
80s.
are certain guys like Tyreek Hill who have.
But I would still argue that Tyreek Hill is a technician enough to utilize the speed, right? I mean, it's not, he doesn't just run go routes in his career.
Right. But out of the 8 guys that have been drafted top 10 in the last 5 drafts, I think Tate, not all of them have combine 40s. In fact, only 2 of them have combine 40s. But between pro day 40s and projected 40s and all of that, Tate is probably the slowest. For, quote unquote slowest.
Right.
So, but this route savvy stuff is concerning to these corners who tend to say speed doesn't bother me, but also they tend to play off guys who are fast. Samari Roll I always said, like, why are these guys playing off? And he said, they play off because they're concerned about getting beat run by.
Yeah.
Period.
But
Don't let them tell you anything else. When they're playing off, it's because they're worried about getting run by.
But that's also, I mean, that's speed, but that's also sometimes because this guy is just really good at getting off press. Some guys aren't, some guys are, right?
And Tate should be
so it's
good
quick
at that.
Feet. Like there's a lot.
His is more quick feet and a little bit hands. And as he gets stronger, he'll be good at it. But they think he could get off press. And the one thing people don't realize about getting off press is what it can do for the timing, right? If he's out there playing X and gets clean releases, all of the timing of the offense is much better. If it throws off what Cam Ward's expecting in terms of the timing of that route, that's the beginning of the crumbling of the play, or of him looking off Tate as the number one receiver because he's not where he's supposed to be on time. But I am really curious to watch Tate and what the route craft can create for him as he maybe gets a little bit faster, as he gets more physical and all of those things, and how much of a number one he can be despite not being the fastest guy and despite not getting yards after the catch at the beginning, which they think he can get better at.
615-737-1025, our phone number. Lots more to get to with PK. We'll tuck more of your questions on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Robby and Rexrode, 1025, The Game.
So you and Easton did have a
Robby and Rexrode, brought to you by Green Ventures Landscaping. Property managers, if you manage it, they maintain it. Visit greenventureslandscaping.com. Paul Kuharsky from paulkuharsky.com is with us here on the program. Taking your questions for PK at 615-737-1025. Go ahead, Joe.
We do have someone who says, as a paver, what is Paul's beef with us? Did someone mess his road up? You keep calling out the pavers.
I'm not beefing. I think I was on the paving thing because I was talking about Robinson and the pothole. So is it just natural carryover?
Stilly also taking his mind away from Dr. Love texted me and pointed out that you can go 8-8-1. You can go 500 in a season.
Yeah, thank you, Stilly.
That's better math than you did earlier.
Well,
good job, Stilly.
Frequent ties. It is amazing that Stilly has gotten out of thinking about Diana in negligee.
No, I mean,
very, very temporary. Must have finished his morning business.
Wow, that went to it. All right. Anyway, so how about that? Those edges,
his fascination with that story is disturbing. Is it not?
For PK.
Yes, it is. I'll end my commentary there.
It's a ever-evolving story. 615-737-1025, our phone number. So we talked about Saleh earlier. Now that we've gotten through the offseason and the roster largely is what it is here, I am really interested to see offensively what this team looks like. And I know everybody focuses in on Dable with that, but he is the head coach. It was bad offensive football in New York when he was there. And if it goes the way the Titans fans hope it's going to go this year, it could lead to Dable having a head coaching job after the year is over with. So long-term for the franchise here, we talked about when Saleh was hired, having a plan at offensive coordinator and having a succession plan and doing all these things. Like I am really interested to see, offensively what this looks like this year with this new coaching staff and how sustainable long-term this is going to be if it goes the way that Titans fans hope it's going to go with Brian Dable. Like if it doesn't and they're just average offensively again this year and Dable's back and you're still trying to build, I mean, that's one thing. But the offensive picture here for this team, even beyond just like the quarterback and the simplicity of how much better does the quarterback get, because I know that's what everybody's going to focus on Dable, but how sustainable is putting together a good offensive plan going to be with this coaching staff? Like when you've got a coach that you hire on the defensive side of the ball, and that's what they've spent all their time doing, and particularly with this one who has made it clear that he's getting back into calling plays on defense, right? Like I think we just kind of divorce the head coach from that side of the ball, but he is the head coach, right? Like he's got to figure out a long-term plan here for that part of it. I'm interested to see how that goes this year with Saleh.
Yeah. And I mean, I think, look, Saleh's going to do what the Titans need him to do for success, right? The Titans had 570 pass attempts, which is, inside the top 10.
Yep.
Because they're behind
they stink and they're down
and stunk. So it's better for him if they throw less. They obviously need to get the completion percentage up from under 60. They need to get the yards per attempt up from 5.7. But I think Daboll's future in a year doesn't have to come with a significantly better record. That's connected to Cam. The thing is, like, how much better can Cam be without the record coming with him?
Yes.
Right. Last year, we touched on this earlier. Last year, there was a lot of room for him to get better with a bad team around him. I think this year, it will be hard for him to play and take a big step without wins coming with it, right?
Yes.
I mean, we're expecting a stingier defense, a better defense, a defense that'll create more turnovers, a defense that'll get more sacks, that'll end drives for the other team. And we're expecting an offense that'll drop the ball less, that'll make more clutch third down plays. I think the run game is still a question in terms of the blocking. If they can hold down the fort on the offensive line better, that's the number one question on that side of the ball. But all of the things that would denote Cam Ward being better should result in wins. Even if it doesn't, if Cam Ward takes a significant step this year, that's what Brian Daboll needs to be resurrected. The question to me is, how many jobs are coming open? Is the league gonna watch these 10 new coaches and see if they do well and say, hey, we should be quicker to fire our guys, and there'll be another 6 jobs open this year?
There's always a couple that we don't even talk about that end up opening, right?
Yeah. But it could conceivably be a down year because there's been so much turnover over the last 2 seasons. Half the league has changed, and some teams are seeking stability. I don't know. But it's going to be rough if we're, every time Cam plays well, contemplating Daboll leaving. And they talked about having a plan, but we don't know what that plan is. Yep. And there's nobody on the staff that is a clear-cut front runner. I would tend to think Luke Stocker, but I mean, we haven't even talked to these assistant coaches yet.
Luke Stocker, man, that's a thought. Wow. Okay, off top of my head, I'm doing this totally off the cuff right now. Well, New England Patriots, New York Jets, Cincinnati Bengals, Colts, possibly.
Yeah, I'd buy those.
I mean, Chiefs, possibly because of retirement. That's just the AFC. The NFC, I mean, I think you even could look at Commanders. You could look at Eagles.
You could look at Eagles.
Right? You could. Well, I mean, I no way we're looking at the Packers there. That's a
stable, clearly freaking
situation.
Not, man.
You know, Bucks. So like
Bucks are due. Yeah, you're right.
There's there's a few. I mean, I guess McVay could always decide to do something. So that right there is what, 8, 9 that I just threw out there.
6, 7.
Something
6,
like that.
7, 6, 7.
You were so hip.
Somewhere in that neighborhood.
6, 7 is dying.
Yeah,
I'm not hearing it as much lately.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, remember Gangnam Style was big too once at one point.
You loved it.
You
were at the forefront of that.
I was pretty good at it. So I do think that if Cam Ward is pretty good this year, then I think Daboll's a head coach somewhere next year.
And
if Luke Stocker is Luke Stocker, you really think so?
Well, who else?
I was hoping you would tell us.
It's not a
Lewis, the wide receiver coach, conceivably. Tierney, quarterback coach. I mean, those would be the prime candidates.
I mean, he talked about the succession plan right away.
Right.
He did.
Talked about it without really naming names. What I needed names. I want a list.
All right, Robert, let's get some names going in there.
You could have asked him about that, but you're too busy bitching about media policy.
Well, it's a hard conversation to have. Like, hey, you just hired this guy that everybody's really high on. When he leaves in a year, what are you going to do?
And again, like, there are some Titans fans that freak out about that. I will sign up for that right now. Like, if you tell me that the Titans are good enough offensively this year that Brian Daboll's getting a head coaching job next year, no questions asked, I will sign up for it right now if I'm a Titans fan.
It does, though, create the nightmare loop of what went on with Vrabel, where Arthur Smith was a great replacement for LaFleur.
Yep.
But after that, he ran out of steam with Joe's boy, Todd Downing, and then Tim Kelly, who didn't really have time to do his thing, but
I like Tim better than Todd, for the record.
Didn't fare well. Oh, Tim over Tom. I think everyone,
did you not?
I think everyone did.
Yeah. It's good stuff there. Hey, I mean, look, if your quarterback, to me, and I understand in an ideal world, this is why all these teams hire all these offensive coaches, because they're the ones calling the plays and you maintain that relationship. But like if Ward reaches the point where we hope he gets to, like, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter who his offensive coordinator is, but you can pretty much operate with any offensive coordinator unless they're just completely horrific when you get Cam Ward playing to a certain level.
Yeah. No,
I would say that too, but I'd say it after 2 years of Daboll if things are tracking the way we imagine they could track on the positive end.
But I mean, even and I know that, like, for example, like Goff still had good numbers last year, but like, you know, I think you saw a difference when the genius Ben Johnson, future Super Bowl Lombardi winner many times over, goes to the Bears. But seriously, though, like you saw a big difference when he left and a lot of things with that, including, I think, even though the numbers were good, I still think that adversely affected a veteran, established, really good quarterback.
And didn't Campbell say, no big deal. We'll be fine.
Yeah, but then they changed again. So
No big deal. We'll be fine.
I mean, he did throw for 4,500 yards, 68% completion percentage, 34 touchdowns, 8 picks. Like, yes, it affected him a little bit. He's pretty darn good last year.
yeah, actually, considering their offensive line, those numbers, he probably should have been an MVP.
Yeah, exactly.
Blame the defense.
Six
Sounds
one-
like me. It sounds to me like you should blame the defense.
615-737-1025. One more segment with PK coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 the game.
So who
Nice.
Final segment of the day. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game.
Was this like 2012 maybe? When was this? 2013, 14 maybe? Something like that?
I've got you for some reason in my head in like MC Hammer pants dancing to this.
Yeah. 2012.
I never had nice. I never had MC Hammer pants. I did have parachute pants though.
Of course you did.
In the 80s.
I'm trying to picture in my head you doing that dance, and I can do it. I can picture it.
I actually had never tried it.
That
would have been good though.
It would have set off gout.
That would have been the earliest known recorded gout
Episode.
attack of my life.
Yeah.
There were hints. There were hints, ladies and gentlemen.
Dave in Big Rock says the Nashville Street Department going to remove all curbs and pavement from around Kuharsky's neighborhood. So let's just take the road out.
Please do, Dave. Dave, I hope you have that power. Please do.
I think if the Nashville Street Department was up out of their jurisdiction in Brentwood, down, there would be a real conflict.
You're not welcome in Williamson County,
says a Nolansville guy.
That's true.
We're like real people over there.
Yeah. That is Nolansville thing. It's so
Brentwood
funny.
BS.
They couldn't find homes in Brentwood. They went to Nolansville, and then they make it like that's what they really want. Oh, there's so many drugs at Ravenwood. We really wanted to go to this lesser school over here in Nolansville.
I wasn't gonna say it. I mean, but speaking of Ravenwood, how about that ass kicking that they took in baseball from Nolansville?
It was a good job. Huh? It was a good job. Nolansville's a good team with some annoying parents. Congratulations.
But none of your parents are annoying.
Congratulations.
None of your parents are annoying.
Not on the same level, no.
I mean, you're fabricating these comments that I still have no
It's a good job by you. It's interesting the level to which you are into Nolansville baseball, considering you do not have a child in the program. It's a little disconcerting.
Well,
I feel like there might be some level of grooming going on.
Again, you're just really inappropriate.
He's taking it out there today.
No, our good friend Griffin Hendrickson hit the home run.
That was a big home run,
big time shot. So I mean, we go fall break with them every year. Like they're good friends. We support our friends and their kids, just like they came to Brennan's football games, things like that. You know what I mean?
A lot of people.
That's how it is in a community with people with friends. They kind of go support each other. I know you probably can't relate to that.
Well, this is kind of indicative of how I picture Nolansville. A lot of people with a lot of time. Which is why they don't have enough money to get a house in Brentwood, because they're not really doing a lot of work.
They're not grinding like me.
Nate says, speaking of drugs, any update on the Michigan State meth lab? You heard about this story?
No, is that what your son was doing over there?
So, yeah, we don't have time I'll tell it real fast. So we got an email finals week last week, and it was like, there's been a strange situation in Wells Hall. It's the biggest hall with like the biggest auditoriums for big lecture classes, and a lot of finals take place there. It's like, so you may have to have your final exam moved out of Wells Hall, stay tuned, whatever, Turns out there was like some dude who used to be a student who was like going Walter White in one of the classrooms and making meth. I don't know.
Say my name.
How's he get in there? That's still the answer to the question I'm trying to get figured out here that nobody can report to me is how'd he get in there, and how did he start cooking up meth while he was in there? Nobody noticed.
Yeah. Now we're going to get more answers. I'm counting on, this is why we count on journalism so I will bring updates as they come along, Nate.
They're rather loose over there at Michigan State with meth making. Apparently.
Just let it pass till it becomes a huge problem.
Well, the guy,
when you start distributing it, we'll make you stop.
Yeah. Well, the guy's name is the name of a University of Michigan professor. So everybody thought that was that for a while. It's like, this Michigan professor is going up to East Lansing and cooking meth. And then, trying to ruin our university.
So what did your spy find out about the meth market?
The meth market?
Yeah.
Was he
part of the way to investigate this whole thing is to find out what's on the street.
Yeah, I don't.
You didn't assign either of your boys to investigate?
No, I'm not. I don't want them to find out what it costs to buy meth.
I thought journalism was going to win out here. Let's do some citizen journalism.
Just go take your final exam.
Get to the bottom of this.
Just take your final exam, some other building. And
a lot going on in Michigan State. You got to take final exams 30 minutes before graduation. Meth labs.
30 minutes before graduation.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously. Yeah.
Cutting it close.
Oh, yeah. And it was inorganic chemistry, which sounds terrible. Texters asked me to repeat the recipe. Last week when I ran about this, I called out every ingredient to tell all of our listeners how to make meth. So I will not do that again.
I'm sure that's available on the web.
I'm
True.
sure it is as well.
Especially now.
Walter White's cookbook is probably on the web.
Good grief. A lot of people wondering this week, PK, about the status of Cam Ward in terms of the progress he's making this offseason with the shoulder. Any reason to be concerned that by the time mini camp rolls around that he won't be ready to go?
I don't think so. He may be on some kind of pitch count. Obviously have 3 other quarterbacks. So if they want to limit his work in any way, shape, or form, that's not going to be a problem. But all indications and all word is that he's fine and on track and all of that. We don't know what the track is. So I love when they say he's on track, but they haven't given us any word of what that track is. One of these off seasons need to do a counter, and I could still do it going back and looking at Pro Football Talk of the reports of guys who are ahead of schedule. Now, we haven't been told that he's ahead of schedule, which I give them credit for. But virtually every player coming back from something in the NFL is remarkably ahead of schedule. Medical people in the NFL during the offseason are really miracle workers.
Micah Parsons ahead of schedule, in case you're wondering.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, good to know.
Good to know.
Yeah, I am trying to think of when's the last time you heard slightly behind schedule, but we're still feeling okay.
He's so far off the map with the schedule, we just don't even know when he's going to get anywhere close to it.
Yeah, we have some concerns about this guy. He suffered a real setback.
I need Tarek Skubal to be legitimately ahead of schedule.
Rexrode talked himself into yesterday Will Levis winning the backup job. Your thoughts on that potentially happening?
Look, I am nowhere near as down on Will Levis as everybody is, and he's not burning a hole in my pocket like he is with everybody else. I would put him ahead of Hooker.
Oh, of course you would.
Yeah, well, mostly based on Joe's impassioned affection for Hooker, but I don't think he's beating Trubisky.
Do you think he'll get any sort of reasonable opportunity? And also, I mean, isn't this just a massive bleep sandwich for him to have to come back here to this town, find a place to live, and continue to work for this team? I mean, there's no way he thought this was going to be the case.
Well, tough break for him. There's no way the Titans thought it was going to be the case that he decided to have shoulder surgery 5 minutes before training camp started.
Maybe this was
what goes around comes around.
Yeah, they're playing the long game the whole time. Good. Okay, well, we'll see you back here next week.
Well, I think Will Levis is probably at the lead of people that think that Will Levis is a lot more valuable than Will Levis is in the free market.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Could be, but
not in the free market, in the trade market.
But I think he also, he must have been humbled here, right? And I still think he has talent.
I don't know Will great, but what I know of Will, I don't know that he's a guy that's easily humbled.
You're not sure he's humbleable?
Yeah. I mean, is that unfair?
Well, I mean, I think he's confident, but if this doesn't kind of slap you in the face, then nothing will. I would think it would.
Put that video on loop of him just chucking that ball over top of his head in Chicago. That'll humble you at some point.
Yeah.
Will it?
Well, you would
Will
hope.
it?
PK, thank you for being with us, sir.
I always enjoy it. Don't block the box, and be sure, please, to lock your lock.
That does it for us today on the program. Next Man Up is coming up next. We'll see you at 6 a.m. tomorrow. You're listening to 102.5 The Game.